If I told you 2021 was one of the greatest seasons in Oklahoma State history, you would say, duh, Cody, tell us something we don't know. Deal. Actually, 2021 was the worst thing that could have happened to the future of Oklahoma State football.
You are Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, y'all, and hello, all. Welcome back to Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily stop for all things cowboy and cowgirl related. My name is Cody Stovall. I want to thank you kindly for stopping by to make this your first listen here on Locked On Oklahoma State. You know we're available on every single podcasting platform, visually as well on YouTube. Find me on Twitter at AllDayOState. Today, we're partially brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs is going to help you find the next qualified candidate for your position. Hopefully, Chad Weiberg has his LinkedIn squared away and ready to rock and roll because the farewell tour has begun. And Chad Weiberg gets to dictate which part of the farewell tour cease to exist. Because you're either about to see a bunch of players, a bunch of fans, or a bunch of coaches on their way out the door. That's where we're at. And I left you guys Saturday with a little tasty nugget to chew on over the weekend, and that nugget was, why do several universities, including our daggone rivals 70 miles south of us down the road, have NFL guys, former legends, openly, publicly endorse the universities, rep their universities, and they're all over social media trying to help recruits land at their university. And why don't we? And I know some people are going to say, well, Cody, Jalen Warren came back last year a couple of times. Yeah, for Benny Tonga and Rob Glass, he feels like without Benny Tonga and Rob Glass, he'd have never made it to the NFL. And it's partially because, Rob Glass is actually physically feet on the ground, on the field, involved in every practice. Do you know who's not feet on the ground, involved in every practice, or hasn't been for the last 6-7 years? Yes, you probably guessed it. The man, the myth, the mulleted legend himself. And guys, I take absolutely zero comfort in making today's show. I actually contemplated not making it. But I owe it to all of the people that have reached out. I owe it to myself to be realistic without sunshine pumping a bunch of orange Kool-Aid like I did all offseason. Guys, remember the Ham of the Ova guy? Yeah, that was me. That was me. I was sold on the same bill of goods that the players were. Right? The bill of goods that Mike Gundy's more present than ever, more involved than ever, trying to be more personable than ever. Sitting in position meetings for the first time in basically ever. Changed the offense, changed the defense, restructured the brand because, we've got a logo too, right? Yeah, we do. And it's still salvageable. And 2021 was phenomenal for the fans and for some of the players and for Gundy and some of the coaches. But it was terrible for the future of Oklahoma State. Guys, Mike Gundy has been checked out. This thing is done. This dog and pony show is over. We are now in a situation we never thought we'd be under Mike Gundy, which is full-on rebuild mode. Mike Gundy has been nothing more than a figurehead since 2017-ish. Why can Casey Dunn tell Mike Gundy no? Because Casey Dunn knows Mike Gundy ain't running the daggone thing. He built this CEO role and thought he had it at such a well-oiled machine that he didn't need to be around. In 2021 was the death sentence for his complacency, nepotism, and ego to validate that position. 2021 killed the program because it allowed Gundy to say, see, I ain't got to be here all the time. I've got this down. This is running smooth. And then we found out not so much. Right? We found out Casey Dunn's way in over his head. As an offensive coordinator by itself, let alone being the guy that's actually helping Rob Glass secretly run things. Offensive coordinator was too much for Dunn. And a lot of former players know it. Again, why do all these other universities have NFL dudes out here praising, promoting, and helping recruit for the university, and we don't? It's because these guys know that Mike Gundy's not around. Mike Gundy's not involved. He doesn't know what's happening. He couldn't tell you the pulse. He can tell you people's numbers because he didn't know their names. He didn't know Justin Wright was a Cowboy, a committed Cowboy, till a few days later when he met him in his office. He had no idea. And this is not new. Guys, can you imagine somebody like Chad Weiberg or showing up practice and Mike Gundy not being there? Could you imagine Dylan Stoner, right, a Cowboy that we all know and love, having 4 to maybe 5 conversations ever with Mike Gundy in 5 years at Oklahoma State and 3 years in the NFL? Same with Chris Lacey, Tyron Johnson, Chris Carson, Justice Hill, Chuba Hubbard, Marcel Aitman, Amen Obagbamiga, Emmanuel Agba, Mason Rudolph, James Washington. The list goes on and on and on. This is not new. People know this. But it's been buried and suppressed for so long that people have no idea. And before anyone hits me with the Cody, Des Bryant loves O State. Yes. Cody Des Bryant loves Gundy. He loves the Gundy he played for. You remember the young, hungry, ambitious, full of life, full of passion Mike Gundy, the I'm a man, I'm 40 Mike Gundy, that Mike Gundy. Josh Fields liked him. Greg Richmond liked him. R.W. McQuarters liked him. Kenyatta Wright likes him. They all still like him enough for their sons to play there. But they love the old Gundy that evidently died 6-7 years ago. That Gundy's gone. He's been gone for a while. This has not been a secret inside. It's just been a secret to you and me and the fan base. We've had the wool pulled over our eyes. It's not a secret to donors. It's not a secret to Chad Weiberg. That's what's almost even more frustrating is this is known. This has been known. But it gets covered up and shoved in the corner, covered up and shoved in the corner. No more. Legacies are my absolute favorite. Y'all know that. I've covered it 100 times. But we never had a shot at Dax Hill. We never had a shot at Kobe Black or Caden Stearns or John Randall Jr. because of this crap. Gundy is nothing more than a stability, air quote, figurehead that we prop up during recruiting. And then recruits commit, they fall in love, they like the stability, the continuity, the consistency. They get here and they realize, oh, this is a little different. Well, this isn't what we discussed. This isn't the image that was painted. Imagine being misled to get you here. Imagine being told a bunch of crap to get you to hang around, to turn down $250,000 to come back another year and be a Cowboy. I mean, imagine being a player on the roster and not even feeling like they know who you are. But I say the Gundys. This is not abnormal. High school coaches know it. Parents know it. They talk to each other as they travel all over the country in 7-on-7 tournaments and in different away games. The recruiting number's going down because why? Because this is not a secret. It's a secret to y'all. It's a secret to us. But it shouldn't be because this is real. This is what's happening. It's been happening. 2021 was just a big, gorgeous, golden, diamond-encrusted Band-Aid on the real problem. Sometimes egos get too big or, I don't know. There's not a lot of justification available for any of this. So, Chad Weiberg has a job to do now. And he should have some help, not only financially, but also in just navigating through these murky, nasty, rough, ugly waters. And in order to do so, he might want to go make sure that his LinkedIn profile is squared away and ready to rock and roll, because we are about to realize that every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager or a massive gamble for your business. And this is a business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. And that's why you got to go check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs is going to help you find the right people for your job, for your team, faster and for free. Just go create your job and then go to the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. Spread the word that you're hiring. Use the simple tools like screening questions and everything that make it super simplistic for you to focus on the right candidates with the right skills for the right job. It's why small businesses already rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you provide the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster and for free. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Locked On College, all being one word. Again, that is linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Go there now to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. Take heed to this message, Chad Weiberg. You can either kill your career or keep it breathing with your next move. This is on you. Partially because you could have put this 1-year contract crap to bed last offseason, last summer, when you knew all this stuff was already happening and you tried to address it. And maybe you got strong-armed by a donor. Maybe a donor was like NFT, playing card money, NIL money. You can't mess with Gundy because you need this money. Maybe that happened. And if that happened, then dag nabbit, Chad Weiberg, you make sure that donor is on the bill for this buyout. It doesn't matter what the buyout is. Okay, 25 mil, 27 mil, 14 mil, 7 mil, doesn't matter. That donor needs to be the one that's responsible for this crap fest. If you got pushed around that way, then that's what needs to happen. This is done. This goose is cooked. It's been cooked for a minute, and people inside know about it. Donors have known. It's very frustrating. High school coaches know, players know, parents know. This is not exactly new. And then they get here, and it gets presented as a rumor. Rumor. You hear this word, you're going to hear it all day today too. Rumor. Some of the stuff isn't rumors, guys. Some of this stuff is 100% fact, and there's people in the program that know about it. There's donors, season ticket holders, people that know that this has been happening. But they don't want to lose their privileges. They don't want to lose their seats. They don't lose their parking. They don't want to lose whatever. And I get that. I get that. I do. But this is also why you're hearing about this. Because there are some donors, there are some people that are tired of this. There are some people that don't want this stuff to go on anymore. So here we are. Welcome to the Gun and Dundee show of nothingness. We've been bashing on Dunn. I've been bashing on Dunn. But I'm hearing that from a player perspective, most of them aren't actually all that mad at Dunn. This is a Gundy problem, a Gundy issue. So Gundy gonna need to get himself on out of here while he's still the legendary Mike Gundy. He's still the best OSU coach of all time. He probably might always will be. We don't know. But that's the thing, we don't know. Gundy came in with Boone. Boone wouldn't put up with this. Holder wouldn't put up with this. But here we are. So Chad Weiberg shouldn't put up with this either. This is a disaster, guys. Once you lose the locker room, you ain't going to get it back. Well, toodaloo, my darling, it gone. It's gone. 2021 killed what we thought the future could be. I mean, it's a mess. right? A bunch of people were misled to come here. A bunch of people were lied to stay here, to prevent them from leaving in the spring. See, we all thought, oh, yeah, see, this is all real because we didn't lose anybody in the spring after losing 20 some odd dudes right before that. But it wasn't real. The rotation, it wasn't real. This new Gundy being involved, it wasn't real. It was just to keep everybody from leaving in the spring. So now those people, do you think they feel fired up or do you think they feel jaded? Do you think they feel screwed? Do you think Justin Wright thought it was going to be this way? The same Justin Wright Gundy didn't even know was on the daggone team? No, probably not. Guys, do you think Alan Bowman took some of the wide receivers to California to work on some of the route concepts and stuff in the offseason over the summer if he thought it was going to be like this? No. Do you think Gundy would have been able to put himself in a good position before all this? Do you think Garrett Rangel put on 20 pounds, shaved 2/10 off of his 40, and worked with a private quarterback coach all summer to not even get a real shot? And anybody says, well, yeah, he definitely got a real shot. No, he didn't. Garrett Rangel and Alan Bowman did not run the same play calls, didn't have the same play calling, nor the same formations that Gunner did. So you can't say that it was the same. It's like telling two kids to run backwards while one is running forward, and you got to try to go catch him. And maybe that's physically what's been happening. That would make some sense. That would explain why Alan Bowman is backpedaling 30 times more than he ever moves forward up into the pocket. Our head coach played the position of quarterback, and he's saying that Alan Bowman played pretty good. And what technical fundamental metric is that good? This isn't Madden. Sure, Madden, you can backpedal 40 yards and throw it sidearm and still keep the same velocity because it's a video game. This isn't a video game. This is supposed to be real life. And our own head man can't see it, won't see it, refuses to see it, whatever it is. But last time I checked, Johnny Unitas and Fran Tarkenton were the last purposeful backpedaling quarterbacks. And wait for it, they could run. It's horrendous. And quite frankly, even though Bowman didn't necessarily play bad, fundamentally, technical-wise, it was an atrocity to watch. And then after the game, I mean, yes, you don't want everybody all Debbie Downer, but Alan Bowman genuinely looked very happy and very pleased with himself and his performance. But if you look at some of the other interviews, matter of fact, if you go look at the camera shots of the sideline during the game when the game was still winnable, that should tell you all you need to know. You don't have to be an expert to read body language and know that, oof, that don't look good. Seriously, go back. And if they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, that daggone camera kept panning to the sidelines, and I kind of wish they wouldn't because those images spoke more than 1,000 words. Matter of fact, those images spoke so much, there was no words needed. Body language says a lot. Enough is enough. And please, 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 please. Let's not, I've heard some of this going around. Let's just get off the idea that it's time to fire Dunn and Dickey and Rattay and McAdoo. No. Stop giving passes. That time was last year. The time to fire everyone on the offensive side of the ball was last year, but we missed the daggone boat. Why did we miss the boat? Because Gundy knew that, all of these guys, they've been here a while. They've got it under control. They know that I'm not really here. They know that I'm not really involved, but they're not going to rat me out either. So I ain't going to fire any of them. I'm going to keep all of them. That was the biggest double-birded middle finger you could ever get because Mike Gundy didn't listen to anybody. He did the opposite, okay? He said, I'm going to back myself into this corner, raise my dukes, be ready to throw hands, and prove everybody wrong that I could change everything and do it with the same coaches that were terrible the last few years before. And just like we talked about before the season started, if that works, he's a genius. Easily coach of the year, Big 12, maybe national coach of the year. If this all worked out, genius. but it didn't. The NIL got in the way. The transfer market got in the way. Being more personable got in the way. Social media got in the way. Parents talking to each other got in the way. High school coaches talking to each other got in the way. You're getting the picture, aren't you? It's time that we get this picture. And as much as I do love Chad Weiberg, he has some culpability here. You could have done the right thing last year. And if I'm hearing for real that a donor or two donors stepped up, quote unquote, with this NFT trading card, NIL bullcrap money, basically saying that I'm going to pull all of this. If you mess with Gundy's contract, you need to make sure that donor, that massive jackwagon, is the one on the hook for all this. Make sure he's comfortable paying 25 mil, 14 mil, 7 mil, whatever it ends up being. Chad Weiberg, that donor owes you. So make him pay up now. He put his foot in his mouth, so now he put a check in the deposit department. A bunch of donors are done with this stuff. They're done. Players, done. Parents, done. Former everything, done. High school coaches, done. This roster is done if we keep everyone. I mean, there are some assistants on the staff that our players absolutely love. And Chad Weiberg knows that. But this is a crap show. And they know it. They absolutely know it. Which means some of this Exodus stuff may be more realistic than your buddy next door is trying to tell you. It stinks, right? You know, kind of like having a hangover. That stinks too. But thankfully, our buddies today at Athletic Brewing Company have you covered. You want to have something that tastes as good as beer without all the crazy stuff that comes with it? Here you go. Athletic Brewing is for you. This company has completely revolutionized the non-alcoholic beer game. They make non-alcoholic beers that actually taste good. They're full-flavored, well-crafted, just like a full-strength beer. Their brews are great tasting and award-winning. They beat out full-strength regular beers in global competitions all the time. And they have over 50 styles of craft, non-alcoholic beer, including IPAs, golden sours, the whole 9 yards. It is the fit for all times, so you can drink them anytime, anywhere, and make any activity a little bit more enjoyable. Watch the big game with your kids. Tackle the TV, tackle your kids, doesn't matter. You can do it all without hangovers. And you can find it now at Athletic Store, online, or at bars all around the country. And they're the fastest growing non-alcoholic brewery in the United States, so get on board now. First-time customers can use Locked On, that is all one word, to get 15% off your first online order. Again, use promo code Locked On, all one word, at checkout for 15% off at athleticbrewing.com. It is near beer and fit for all times. Exclusions and conditions do apply. Speaking of beer, I had some of that this weekend. I did. Felt all right going down the hatches. So let's go ahead and put a nice, fun, little pretty bow on the end of this thing here. This mass exodus thing, as far as 22 players are gone next week thing, is that real? No. But if anyone is telling you that it isn't happening, they're either bold-faced lying to you, covering up for someone, or they actually don't know crap all about what's realistically going on. There is a mass exodus coming. And again, Chad Weiberg gets to dictate what that looks like. Does that mean a bunch of fans? Likely. I guarantee you right here, right now, season tickets will not be sold out next year. Absolutely not. I can also tell you right here, right now, that if Gundy is in charge of this program this time next year, that mass exodus everybody's all worried about from the players, it's happening. Or Chad Weiberg could make the farewell tour of the man, the myth, the mullet himself begin right now, as it should be. This is done. This goose is cooked. This has been being stuffed in drawers and hidden for too long. And too many people know about it. Too many people that give too much money know about it. And they've been knowing about it. Well, okay, that was then. This is now. And the now is right now. This is it. We watched the beginning of the end already last year. This can't be another beginning of the end. Or the over and under next year will be 2.5. I mean, guys, you take the top 7 players off of this team, and we're like dreadfully not in a good spot. Fair? If that's fair, then we've got to poop or get off the pot now. I think Chad Weiberg can be phenomenal. I think Dr. Casey Strum is amazing. But enough is enough. This is a new Big 12 with a lot of positivity. You've got the new athletic village coming into play that's going to put Oklahoma State at the very top of the new Big 12 when it comes to facilities and accessibility and ways to get bigger, stronger, faster, more calculated, coordinated ways to measure it, faster recovery time, better facilities. Like, I mean, our facilities are already top 3 in the new Big 12. And they're going to get better. But for what? Now, you can have the best facilities in the world. And nobody wants to come play for this. This is not it. Now, thankfully, on the defensive side of the ball, the buy-in on Brian Nardo is still pretty big. The buy-in on some of these guys, putting together something successful, whether it be film, whether it be wins and losses, whether it be becoming a better leader, quicker, stronger, faster, whatever it is, now's the time to do it. And for those out there that know they're already gone, go put a massive highlight reel together, please. It'll at least be entertaining. It'll at least be fun. And it'll at least give us a little bit of capability to possibly convince y'all into staying at the end of the year. But it won't be for Gundy. It's not going to happen. Not a Dunn problem. It's not a Dickey problem. Not a McIndoe or Rattay problem. This is a Gundy problem. And Dunn is just way too far in over his head. It's made him become more irritable. It's made him become more lippy, mouthy, short-tempered, stubborn, whatever you want to call it. There's a negative rub-off on Casey Dunn and Rob Glass kind of being responsible for this big, huge picture. Why has Casey Dunn been here so long? Well, now you know. He doesn't have a reason to go anywhere. He could have. He could have been the actual head coach at a couple of places, kind of like in North Texas. He could have. But he never did. And it was like, oh, wow, Gundy did really good with bringing in loyal guys. Okay. Or not. Or he just brought in yes men that would let him do his CEO, I'm going to go play Captain Jackwagon on my farm and play with my goats and my chickens and my hens and donkeys and whatever that crap is. If you want anything from Gundy, you got to go to the farm. This is also not that big of a secret. All righty, y'all. Got pretty fired up here. That's okay. Stuff happens. Appreciate you. You know I love you. That's all we're going to have for this one. God bless. Go Pokes. And thank you for tuning in to make this your first listen here on Locked On Oklahoma State. You could be anywhere. Love that you choose to be here. This thing is done. This Dog and Pony show is over. It's been over for a while. Go ask around. Later. Taters.